So this week has really been an eye-opener so far. On Monday, we gave thanks and showed our gratitude for the memory of veterans who served this country, who fought fearlessly despite danger, who, out of courage, bravery, stupidity, or whatever reason, to be fair, had showed heroism despite the immediate danger, with hope in their hearts for a better world for us all. So today, I would like to extend that same gratitude to civilians, myself included, who this week have shown the same courage, conviction, bravery, and stupidity despite the immediate danger, with hope in our heart for a better world for us all. So this was submitted to me earlier today by a friend of the show and Democratic candidate Bernadette Holzer, who is running for House District 143 in the state of Missouri. She actually found this as a part of a larger piece composed by Lindsay Simmons, founder of the Missouri Project. I originally had heard about this just in passing, being discussed on Sam Cedar and by Sam Cedar and Emma Vigland. I didn't really pay much attention to it, but I decided to take a closer look today, and boy, this is just frightening. Let's take a look.
I wanted to create an interactive tool that spotlights what's being done in the shadows. And so you've got our website pulled up right here. What this is a Missouri woke heat map. So all of these pinpoints that you see.
A Missouri woke heat map?
Missouri woke heat map. So all of these pinpoints that you see on the map are occurrences in which one of the three have occurred. Either critical race theory was pushed, woke extremism was pushed, or a crazy action was taken by a crazy leftist. Mm-hmm. And so what it will do is once you click on that source, it'll redirect you to the problem at hand.
Now, this is just launching. This is the first kind of public appearance of this technology. And I love it because it is.
Now, I had seen earlier, I went and rewatched that segment from the Majority Report where they actually looked up this Twitter account, and it turns out it's just propaganda garbage. Even the math problem is, oh gosh, I can't even pull that up close enough to. Let's see if we can get that a little bit closer here. Sorry, you won't be able to catch that. This math homework from a public school district in Missouri. How does this help kids learn algebra? Exactly. No wonder why China's winning. Angelou was sexually abused by his mother at age 8, by his mother's blank at age 8, which shaped her career choices and motivation for writing. And the answers are A, boyfriend, B, brother, C, father. Trying to support, second question is trying to support her, the hell does that say? Son as a single mother. She worked as a pimp, prostitute, and blank. I mean, this is basically just shit posting, but they've got it here as if it's legit. Again, Majority Report covered this, I believe, on Monday. They went through and found these posts, and it's just basically a right-wing Twitter post. I covered something similar with, the outlaw Josie Wales had claimed that there was CRT being taught in Mountain Grove, Missouri. And it ended up just being a bunch of garbage that this idiot found on the internet, been posting from his fake profile, that he uses the shit post on Facebook. Turns out the owner of the Facebook page, I assume it was a fake page, actually has listed that he's married to someone who owns a gun store, like somewhere about 100 miles east or 100 miles west of Mountain Grove, Missouri. So like this person didn't even live there. They're just posting this trash in the local Facebook groups, and you see this stuff. It's not just coming from Bulgaria. It's coming from Buffalo, Missouri, or wherever the hell that idiot was from. But that's basically all this is. I mean, you can look it up yourself. Take a look at the Facebook or Facebook. Take a look at the Twitter page and the posts that they have. It's just absolute trash. Don't take my word for it. Do your own freaking homework. But let's continue with this.
Redirect you to the problem at hand.
Now, this is just launching. This is the first kind of public appearance of this technology. And I love it because it is, people see this, their child brings home something from school and they just think, well, that's odd. But what do? I should go to the school board or something. That's not till next month, or, all these things. But together, when we all know something's crazy, we all see a problem.
Wanted to create an interaction.
Oh, that's it. They're just trying to raise awareness. That's all they're trying to do. Again, this was the video that I had seen and they were discussing earlier the week on the Majority Report. It's Missouri woke heat map. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at who all these people are. Again, sounds harmless, but you never know. So, let's take a look. So first of all, these folks, right? The podcast people, flyover conservatives, cool. Stacy and I have been entrepreneurs. We live in rural Kansas, farm country with very little conservative values instilled in us. 23, we started a successful online product brokerage company that gave us the freedom, flexibility to travel. And we experienced the coastal values, which only gave us a deeper appreciation for the flyover values we'd grown up with as normal. In 2016, we watched as a man we had respected in the business world took on the swamp and fake news media. As he campaigned to be president, we felt that he was truly a voice for the unrepresented majority in the country. This man spoke the values of the Midwest and teared up as he talked about his love for the country. Instead of apologizing for our flaws, he celebrated a system of government that grew to reflect the ideas of our founding documents. Finally, we had someone in the White House that stood up for us. We watched throughout his first 4 years. He continued to win for we the people. Throughout his 2020 campaign, we had no doubt he would win again and usher in another 4 years of winning for us, the people. During his campaign, we had many friends sending us articles and videos and many asking for our thoughts on what was happening in politics. We realized there was a vacuum for a community where we could share our ideas and stay up to date with what was happening. So we decided to create this community in a private Facebook group called the Flyover Conservatives. Okay, yeah. We grew up in rural Kansas, it says. In 2016, we watched as a man we had respected in the business world took on the swamp. My God. Like, this has to be out of date, right? Surely, I don't know. I guess all I got to do is just walk outside and start asking around. Folks actually believe that Donald Trump is a man of the people for rural communities. I don't get that. I mean, people don't even think I'm a fucking guy of the rural community, okay? Whoa, it's Donald Trump? Are you shitting me right now? Like, oh my God, stop it with your nonsense. Absolute trash. Wow, I can't even. So let's take a look at Liberty Alliance. Let's see. Liberty Alliance exists to fight conservative values wherever they are under attack. You can join. Give us money. Not gonna lie, you go to my website, says the same thing. Give me money. I'm sure I get less than these guys, though, right? Liberty Alliance is conservative answer Missouri needs. Join to help make Missouri a better place for generations to come. We exist to provide a place for conservatives and common sense. So it just sounds like, they're just raising awareness of their crazy right-wing ideology or whatever, right? Well-funded progressive groups from the coast are pouring money into the state to help expand socialism in our healthcare market. Okay. Raise taxes and promote the Green New Deal. Oh, okay. Can you spot the anti-Semitic tropes? Some politicians are only fighting half-heartedly to protect our conservative principles, focusing more on keeping their jobs than protecting our values. We exist to ensure that conservative and common sense Missourians have a place to stand together to protect our values. Our goal is to build a grassroots movement of individuals committed to protecting the ideals and values that Missourians hold dear. Grassroots, you say? Oh, back Mo Blue. No matter who, I guess. Sure. Conservative Champions or Conservative Chronicles series. Liberty Alliance News. It seems like a really well put together Wix page here, I gotta say. Nothing wrong with that. You know, they're just trying to raise awareness for their wacky right-wing ideology, right? Seeing they're trying to get grassroots. I mean, you know, hell, if I took a little extra time, or maybe if I had somebody else, you know, I could probably make my website look all kinds of badass too. I get that, you know, like there's nothing wrong with that. So let's take a look. This was posted by the Kansas City Star just today. Anti-woke map targets hotspots in Missouri. Every single one of them is a school. What the fuck? Yo. Pembroke High School. There you go. The arch-conservative Liberty Alliance has unveiled its new woke heat map of Missouri, dotted with hotspots where it says the woke agenda is permeating all across the state. Click one and you'll see the spot ties to instances where someone has raised a stink about one of the right-wing culture war outrages of the day. Diversity training, a lesson about George Floyd, a gingerbread person cookies. What ties all these hotspots together? Each one targets a school. What reason could there be to drop pins on a map other than to mark the sites for protest or worse? If there's another reason the group hasn't told us, even after we asked repeatedly Tuesday why it's now doing this, of all times. The only reply was that the map was not published in response to the tragedy in Uvalde, Texas, where 19, we already know. The Liberty Alliance released its map on May 19th, 5 days after 10 black people were murdered in a Buffalo, New York grocery store, allegedly by a self-proclaimed white nationalist, 18-year-old with a military-style rifle, which we covered in depth on this broadcast. At best, the map is irresponsible given our deeply polarized political climate and the volatility of school board meetings in recent months, which have too often been marked by raw, emotional, incendiary language. Liberty Alliance, led by a 26-year-old University of Arkansas, no surprise there, graduate Spencer Bone, launched the map accompanied with the type of rash rhetoric reminiscent of the January 6, 2021 insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, and obviously hangs out with these douchebags also, as we saw in the podcast. The group was owned by the Missouri-based nonprofit Cornerstone 1791. Who's that? Says it's committed to fighting the reckless embrace of socialism in Missouri. The map was designed to expose the insane attacks of the radical left, the site says. Have these folks been following politics in Missouri? Because it sure looks like the supermajority on the right already runs things in this state. But what do facts matter when you're trying to get a hot button campaign off the ground? The first step in fighting back, the woke heat maps page says, is uncovering their crazy ideas. From critical race theory to grooming toddlers with sexually explicit books, this map will alert Missourians of craziness happening in their own communities. Boy, it says that? We're going to have to go back and check. So-called Missouri values, the group promotes oppose efforts to LGBTQ students feel safe in their schools. The group also supports bans on diversity, equity, and teaching school children about race and U.S. history. For now, the map lists 12 hotspot schools, including University of Missouri, Kansas Pembroke High School, Green Valley School District, located in a suburb just a few miles east of Kansas City. Pembroke officials learned about the map Tuesday and find it deeply disappointing because we are a proud, well-rounded quality of education that we provide for our students. Pembroke Hill was at the center of controversy last year after a student drew a swastika on a desk and a KKK sign was found scrawled on another. Parents expressed outrage over claims the school had not corrected previous racially discriminatory behavior toward Jewish and black students. And clearly, the left is just raging, pouring money into the state to promote socialism. After the school hired a diversity consultant and launched a 5-year plan to improve how students are treated, the conservative group Parents Defending Education published an article, How Pembroke High School Went Woke, criticizing the elite private school for its response to acts of racism. Jesus Christ. Boy, it just goes on from there. Definitely worth a look. But let's see, while we're here, let's see if we can take a second look at some of this over here. Okay, so we've got woke Blue Lives Spotlight. It's woke hotspots. There it is. Let's check it out. Woke heat map. Okay, so here's the heat map. Oh, please click on the hotspots. We know that there are woke efforts happening all across the state, which is why we need your help. Is there something insane happening in your community? We want to know about it. Help us expose the radical left by filling out this form. So they basically want you to turn in your neighbors for being woke. That way, all of the super crazy right-wing nut jobs in the state of Missouri, or with access to the state of Missouri, like the Buffalo shooter, know exactly where to go. Let's take a look at some of these. Rockbridge High School, statewide. What's statewide?
3, 2, 1, we're live. We're live. Happy Tuesday morning. Is it Tuesday?
It is Tuesday.
Yes, it is. Listen, we are on fire this morning, and we're going to talk about what happened with the because it's a school.
I have no idea what this is.
Florida schools everywhere. Missouri schools now.
Right.
Because, again, this is not New York and California. This is Missouri. I wanted to find out if this was happening.
Intended.
Thank you!
Looks like a podcast. Okay. Springfield, Missouri. Anti-racism comes to the heartland. Middle school in Springfield recently held a diversity training program that forced teachers to locate themselves on an oppression matrix and watch a video of George Floyd's last words. Oh no! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! What the fuck? Wentzville, Missouri, Rockwood School District. School. College. School. You've got to be shitting me. And they want you to turn in your neighbors. This is friggin' insane. Jesus Christ. So then someone, what the hell is this? Oh, we're going to have trouble reading that, I think. Might have to read that to you myself. So then I caught this on Twitter, and it was absolutely frightening. Liberty Alliance themselves, the people who put out this woke heat map. Warrensburg, Missouri is being added to the woke heat map. An all-ages drag show is just another example of child grooming. They're having a pride fest. This was posted today on their stupid-ass Twitter. Warrensburg is having a pride fest. Somebody in Warrensburg got together and was like, hey, y'all want to just have a thing? We'll just do a thing. And it's, oh God. And this is going to freak them out. It's called the Gay Agenda. Oh my God. All ages drag show, drag panel Q&As, Shiloh's set list, Joko Dem's speaker, meet and greet time, USM alumni drag show, 18 plus drag show at 6 p.m. And these pieces of shit, child grooming. Really? You think that's the smartest thing to do in Rednecklandia? God, Jesus Christ. I mean, what the hell? What the absolute hell is that? You fucking terrorists. Fucking terrorist enablers. Are you shitting me right now? Like, I can't even. The fucking terrorist enabling scumbags. Well, that will not leave my throat at all. I might have to drink some regular water, folks. Terrorist enabling scumbags, you've got to be absolutely shitting me. I mean, they are just putting a focus specifically on events, like literally targeting. They might as well have crosshairs. They might as well have fucking crosshairs on there. Literally targeting these kind of events. And then posting all this propaganda garbage on top of it. I don't know. Let's see. Can we read that? Can you read that? Boy, there's a lot of ads on this. Gives away some secrets. I'll never tell. Despite asking for money, Missouri's Liberty Alliance nonprofit hasn't registered with the state. Boy, they just went full on Eric Greitens there, didn't they? We have rules here, folks. Kansas City-based political nonprofit called Liberty Alliance USA has not filed registration paperwork with the Missouri Attorney General's office. The state's chief law enforcement agency said in response to an open records request by the Post-Dispatch. Missouri law requires most charities to file paperwork with the Missouri Attorney General's office. Despite not doing so, the Liberty Alliance was soliciting donations on its website as of Monday, which is a big no. I mean, how hard is that? It's like $35 My God. You cheap fucking bastards. You cheap fucking fascist asshole fucking terrorist enabling shitbags. Asked why the nonprofit had not filed paperwork, Chris Vann, the Alliance's executive director, responded in an email with the one-sentence statement: "We're in full compliance with the law." I'm going to show you where he gets that bullshit. The lack of registration caught the attention of Elad Gross, a Democrat running for Missouri Attorney General. On Friday, after receiving the same information from the office as the Post-Dispatch, Gross asked Attorney General Eric Schmidt, a Republican, to investigate Liberty Alliance. Either they are a nonprofit organization or required to register, or they are not a nonprofit organization, and they are not required to register. But that means they're fraudulently soliciting donations because they say that they are a nonprofit. On Monday, Gross received an email from the Attorney General's office, Consumer Protection Division, asking him to fill out an online form. The office told the Post-Dispatch it investigates credible complaints with charity donors and that organizations raising money for charitable purposes need to register with the state. The office, I mean, my God. On August 15th, a squadron of Alliance supporters sent tongues wagging at the annual governor's ham breakfast at the state fair in Sedalia, where they handed out paper fans with a "Don't Tread on Missouri" emblem printed on them. We're committed to fighting the reckless embrace of socialism and blah, 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 blah. Missouri law allows the Attorney General to issue civil investigative demands to charities he suspects of acting illegally. Schmidt can also ask for an injunction barring unlawful activity. The Missouri Charitable Organizations and Solicitations Law requires most organizations doing business in the state or holding property in the state for any charitable purpose to register with the Attorney General's office. Among other things, the Attorney General's office asks for a charity banking information, a list of its officers, and whether those officers have felony convictions. The head of the charity attests to the information under penalty of perjury. There are exemptions for those for who has to file: religious institutions, hospitals, schools, campaign accounts, social groups, groups classified under 501c3, 501c7, 501c8 of the federal code. Records the Liberty Alliance filed with the Secretary of State show it is owned by Cornerstone 1791, a 501c4, which is allowed to engage in political activity, but it does not have to reveal its donors. Donations to such groups are generally not tax deductible according to the IRS. Secretary of State or Secretary of Records say Cornerstone 1791 was formed on February the 13th. Like Liberty Alliance, Cornerstone 1791 has not filed paperwork with the Attorney General, the office said on Friday. Liberty Alliance is tied to an ecosystem of Republican-aligned money with murky origins. The registered agent for Cornerstone 1791 is Eddie Grine, the law partner of Todd Graves, who's the former chairman of the Missouri GOP. Also listed on the paperwork. Oh, well, that's why they're not doing anything, because they're lawyers. They fucking know they don't have to. They're probably in it with all the rest of these assholes. I mean, think about it. Not only are they lawyers, but they're, well, let's not jump to conclusions. Let's take a look. Oh, that's the end. That's it. That's all we've got there. No wonder they're not in a rush to do anything about any of this. They don't have to. They're lawyers. They're Republican. They're campaign. It's an election year. Eric Schmidt, the Attorney General, is trying to become a fucking U.S. Senator, for Christ's sake. We really think that he's going to go again? The money, stop it. Stop it already, you bunch of fucking criminals. And keeping in mind, this is the same party of Eric Greitens who was also running for that same Senate seat. So, I mean, stop it. It's, we can already tell where this is going to go. But as I said before, this was all posted as a part of a larger piece by Lindsay Simmons, and let's actually take a look at the full piece here. Of course, she included that on Twitter. So let's zoom in a little bit and take a look. It has been 1 week since the massacre at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. In response, a dark money group from Missouri launched a woke heat map so that the fascists can fight back against a woke agenda. 12 locations are tagged, all of them schools. First, some history. Missouri is a safe haven for dark money groups. Dark money is cash used to influence our politics from a concealed source. Usually it passes through a nonprofit on its way to support a candidate or cause. You might be thinking, but wait, I have to input my info every time I make a donation with my employer and everything. Yep, you do. But the Supreme Court has made a distinction between giving to a candidate and an independent expenditures. An independent expenditure is money spent on communications to support or impose a candidate or cause without coordinating with the candidate's committee. At least technically, that's the rule. Also, these independent expenditure groups can accept unlimited donations. You probably know them best as super PACs. So how does it work? Well, you can donate $10 million to a so-called nonprofit that doesn't have to disclose its donors. Plus, that nonprofit can give your $10 million to a super PAC that can then send out $10 million worth of mailers telling your community. Until 2016, Missouri was one of the few states with zero campaign contribution limits. This made us ground zero for dark money operations. Recall that Eric Greitens was accused of sexual assault, but didn't resign until his dark money contracts threatened to be revealed. Now, I discussed this years ago, but that was another story and another life. But yeah, so it likely won't surprise you that dark money groups continue to flourish in our state. One of them is Liberty Alliance USA, a group that's launched a woke heat map, so their followers who know which specific spots to target fighting back against the woke agenda. Yo, every single one of these locations is a school. We know anybody who is suing schools? And these schools are being targeted for supporting trans students, offering African Americans and multicultural curricula, diversity training, and promoting equity. The map reads like an anti-democracy school hit list. Liberty Alliance USA purports to promote conservative principles while fighting the reckless embrace of socialism. They mention politicians fighting only half-heartedly to protect conservative values, a call out to any Republican not towing the fascist line. But who is Liberty Alliance USA? Why target 12 different schools? Well, buckle up, because Liberty Alliance USA isn't even its name. It's quite literally a fictitious name for Cornerstone 1791, as was covered. This allows Cornerstone 1791 to try and hide its work and avoid accountability. And then, of course, we have the registration showing here. Right down there at the bottom, you see Cornerstone 1791. Cornerstone 1791 listed Kristin Ansley as its president, secretary, and member of its board, along with Shane Bartrey and William Grime. The articles of incorporation name Edward Grime as a registered agent and Matthew Mueller as an incorporator. Mueller plus Edward Grime are attorneys at Graves Garrett in Kansas City, Missouri, a law firm with strong ties to the Trump administration that is paid by the Legal Defense Fund for January 6 organizers. Matthew Whitaker of counsel of the firm was the acting attorney general. And it should be remembered that Whitaker was appointed by Trump as the acting attorney general illegally. That's because he never received Senate confirmation. I mean, there's even an on-point SCOTUS decision from 2016 where Roberts, Thomas, and Alito wrote that rule down. And you can Google that yourself. What is that? Well, Google it. But Trump put in Whitaker in charge of the Department of Justice to dismantle Robert Mueller's investigation. Whitaker is the same man who wrote an op-ed suggesting Mueller's investigation went too far and who shared an opinion piece asking Trump's lawyers not to cooperate with the investigation. When the House January 6th Select Committee issued subpoenas to those who organized January 6th, Matt and Mercedes Schlapp, create a legal defense fund to pay for counsel from the law firm, former acting attorney general Matt Whitaker. William and Edward Grimes are brothers. William has been the treasurer for a handful of anti-democracy PACs in Missouri, such as Fair Missouri, Freedom to Work, and of course, Liberty Alliance. Wow. Worth noting is the address that appears on some of the organization's papers. It's the same as the Graves Garrett law firm, where Williams' brother Edward Crime is a partner. And then we have Kristin Ansley, who is the former acting executive director of the Missouri GOP. She's also the current executive director of Private Citizen, a nonprofit group that originally was organized as Nemo Residio Group, located at, you guessed it, the very same address as Graves Garrett Law Firm. Ansley also sits on the board of directors of the Herzog Foundation, where she joins Todd Graves, namely named partners of the Graves Garrett Law Firm. Graves is the brother of Sam Graves, United States representative to Missouri's 6th congressional district. Yes, the same Sam Graves who signed the amicus brief undermining the 2020 election, who later voted against certifying election results. But let's go back to Todd for a second. He's the former chair of the Missouri Republican Party, is now on the U of M Board of Curators. If you dig into dark money groups, you'll learn that Graves Garrett partner Lucinda Lloyd-Kamaya presented a Montana representative during his case over the issue. Represented a Montana representative during his case over the issue of dark money, or use of dark money. Lucinda is married to Missouri State Senator Tony Lloyd-Kamaya, who voted for Todd Graves' appointment. Oh, and Tony Lloyd-Kamaya's cousin, once removed, is sitting U.S. Representative Blaine Lloyd-Kamaya from Missouri's 3rd congressional district. And so what you have is one law firm with strong familial connections to state and federal legislators employing Trump's loyalists. And now they're pushing out their latest effort to create a surveillance state, one where schools are placed on a list of doing any number of things that far-right radicals define as un-American. In chat rooms and on message boards since the site's launch, posters have pointed out exactly the kind of harm the targeting of schools and individuals can lead. Concerned citizens are already reporting this targeted list of schools to law enforcement agencies. Our country's playing with fascism, and our democratic republic will not last if our institutions protect and permit the targeting of democratic institutions by dark money groups. Wow. That's a lot to take in. You remember how what was that? Just I guess Monday, right? Whenever I mentioned that in small rural communities, things are very, very incestuous. Nope. I guess all across Missouri, things are very, very incestuous, and boy, that's a lot. That's going to require a second read, I think, and a little bit more homework on that. So thank you very much, everyone. Firstly, Lindsay Simmons for putting that together. And my goodness, I'm fucking speechless. Again, with Eric Schmidt running his own campaign this year for Senate. Of course, as Attorney General, he will do nothing, because these people are very likely raising campaign funds to flow into his campaign. It's June 1st. We still got time. We still got plenty of time to hit the road. And I keep seeing more and more of his ads all over social media on, every time I watch a YouTube video about something that, where maybe they're talking smack about Eric Schmidt because he's a fucking criminal, clearly. Wow. Alleged. That's absolutely just utterly disgusting and terrifying. So again, as I said before, thank you to the folks who are to civilians who are putting themselves out there. Yeah, I mean, it's fighting fascism. It really is. It does for somebody like Lindsay Simmons to put this together and post it, make it public. It does take a lot of courage, conviction, bravery, and stupidity to do something so tremendously tremendously brave. I mean, and again, despite the immediate danger, with hope in her heart for a better world for us all. So I'll leave it at that. Listen, if you like this kind of content, I'm not a 501c3, but you can feel free and donate to me. Go to patreon.com/chainsawccc, become a patron. This TV is huge and it sucks up a lot of electricity, so I definitely need your help with that. You can support independent media for as low as $3 a month. All these freaking lights, I'm getting second-degree sunburns. I got to put on more makeup just to cover this shit up from the heat coming off of these lights. So I definitely need your help there. Find me on social media, on Twitter. If you've been responding to my Twitter posts, I freaking love you. Oh yeah. And so for Friday's show, I did want to mention, let me see if I can find that real quick. There it is. Okay. I keep glitching out. I'm like Donald Trump over here. So last week we brought back the best of social media comments, and I want to do that again for this Friday's show. So here it is. And I posted this on Twitter, posted on Facebook also. So if this is your first time hearing it, great. Listen, I heard some pretty disturbing opinions, but I want to hear from you, the viewer. Why do you think that the Uvalde police are refusing to cooperate with Texas DPS? What do you think that response should be? And what do you think should be done about that? Again, your comments will likely be featured on the Best of Social Media Comments segment coming up the day after tomorrow for Friday's show. So send those to me today or tomorrow. That way we can get everything prepared for Friday, because get those to me before say 10 o'clock p.m. Central Time tomorrow, and very likely your comment will be featured on the show. So what do you think, or why do you think the Uvalde police are refusing to cooperate with Texas DPS, and what do you think the response should be? Let me know what you think, and again, thank you very much for standing by, and I'll catch you on the flippity fling flong. Good luck to you. Rock and roll.